Vettel also, Lewis Hamilton on the last lap for Mercedes coming through side by side against Valtteri Bottas and through to finally win his first Grand Prix of 2020, and Lewis Hamilton comes home to win the Spanish Grand Prix.
It was obviously I'm very happy with the overall performance of this team. Is just remarkable. Everyone's worked so hard to come here with an upgrade and be so dominant this weekend is a real demonstration of just how powerful this team is, and that it is the best team in the world. And we're so united. So we're just, and my job really is trying to come in each weekend is just trying to deliver for the team. Yesterday was a difficult day, but I arrived today and I got this great message from this young kid called Harry, and he just became my spirit. That was my inspiration when I woke up this morning. I was a bit lost, kind of, how's today is going to go, and then I saw that message and I was like, okay, I see you, Harry, I got you. So I want to dedicate this one to Harry. If you're watching, buddy, sending you love.
I don't have to say much about how important this next race is. Obviously a lot of the investors have made the trip over the border to have a look. A good performance here, and we can secure some more investment for you. So no pressure, but a good result today could be a great thing for the team.
Well, you've got nothing to worry about. We've got everything set up as we should. We've got an impending upgrade as well, so fingers crossed it should be a good performance, and hopefully we can show those investors that we are worth their time.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you trackside, and looking forward to a good race. I'll see you there.
So no room for mistakes. All the higher ups are here to watch. No pressure then.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Gilles Villeneuve circuit in Montreal, Canada, for round 6 of the Formula 1 World Championship. And what a season this is shaping up to be. And after some technical work that's been taking place, there's half a chance of our Ravenwest side being slightly quicker thanks to some aerodynamic upgrades. We shall see how they turn around this circuit. 2.7 miles, 14 turns. The cars themselves will be hitting maximum speed in 3 wonderful DRS zones. This is always a real favourite of the circuits and the season, and always we've got the Wall of Champions to watch out for. In a championship season in which is shaping up to be a bit of a title battle spread across the board, is hoping that we could see something quite spectacular. And if we're going to see something spectacular, Lewis Hamilton has it all to do. While he leads the Drivers' Championship, he has to settle for a 10-place grid penalty after having to change a gearbox. Real shame for him, but it leaves a huge chance for Charles Leclerc, who'll start this race on pole for the Ferrari. And Alexander Albon and the Red Bull down all the way in 14th, so tough time for him. So here is the rundown of the full grid for the Canadian Grand Prix here of 2020. And Charles Leclerc on pole, Max Verstappen behind him, separated by hundredths of a second. Sebastian Vettel is third and Valtteri Bottas is fourth, important for him. The aero upgrade has worked for Hetz Gonzalez because he's fifth in the Ravenwest. Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll and the Racing Points point down. Lewis Hamilton sadly starts 11th after that 10-place grid penalty. Esteban Ocon is down at 18th in the Renault, and Roman Grosjean brings up the rear along with Mick Schumacher, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi. So, are we all ready for this? It's time to go racing.
Sterling, it's in, and we've got crossing up winner.
And after the 5 red lights go out, the Canadian Grand Prix is go! It looked to be a fantastic start by Max Verstappen, and Charles Leclerc's cut him off nicely, and Gonzalez is battling through Vettel, and Gonzalez has got through into 3rd place. Great start for the Ravenwest side, and Hector Gonzalez, the Spaniard, who's got ahead of Sebastian Vettel, who's being challenged at the moment by Valtteri Bottas, and that's a real battle. Great start by Leclerc, who heads Verstappen, and there is a fantastic start now. Bottas has got past Sebastian Vettel and is now all over the gearbox at the moment of Hector Gonzalez in the Ravenwest. 3 abreast nearly as they come through. Wow, what racing we are seeing. And Bottas has got the braking capacity to get through. And again, Vettel is looking to get himself past, and the Ferraris and the Mercedes engine has way more power than the Honda-powered Ravenwest engine has at the moment. And Bottas gets himself into 3rd place. Oh, Gonzalez, what happened here?
We've had a gearbox technical issue, so we need you to change the engine mode back to like you would on a race start. Put it in HPP 3 position 2, please. There we go. Excellent, well done. Sorry about that, we'll look into that. Strat wise, we'll go strat 4. We're going to have to go long here now.
Well. Gearbox failure for Gonzalez in the Ravenwest. That was the team principal, Chris Whiteman, and is also a sound engineer. So here is the top 10 so far. Charles Leclerc leads Max Verstappen from Valtteri Bottas. This is your top 3. Vettel's ahead of Sainz in the McLaren, and Lance Stroll in the Racing Point is 6th, ahead of his teammate Sergio Perez. Ricardo, Norris and Hamilton are still down in 10th. Just cannot find the pace. And that's ahead of him is Lando Norris that he needs to pass. And ahead of him is Daniel Ricciardo. What can Lewis Hamilton do? This is made for him to produce a real stunning result if he can. That's if he can, that must be said. Real challenge in. Let's see what Lewis can do here. Only had a real tough start to this season. Leads the World Championship after winning in the previous round. Wonderful result that was to overtake his teammate on the penultimate lap into the stadium complex. Slowest part of the track they will go, and then they will speed up, and then an overtaking opportunity may arise them. It's just a case of, does this Mercedes have enough power? Bearing in mind these cars, it's the turbulence they create from the downforce does limit to you. Does Lewis Hamilton have enough? I'm not quite sure he has enough straight line speed, but he will have DRS coming up in the next lap, and that could be an opportunity for Lewis Hamilton to move forward. Still in 10th place, still has it all to do, and Lando Norris is holding him off. Charles Leclerc still leads from Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas also. Sebastian Vettel is 4th, and Carlos Sainz is promoted to 5th after Hector Gonzalez in the Ravenwest had that gearbox problem, and that's pushed him all the way back down. This is Sebastian Vettel in that Ferrari, a 4 times world champion, but for the last 7 years or so, he's been out of the picture. It's been this man, Lewis Hamilton, who has been the person, the driver that everybody wants to see. 6 world championships, an outstanding run by him, and he's having an outstanding run, trying to find a way past Norris, having a little sniff that will go through the stadium section, and as they pull up to the 3rd DRS section in the lap, I'm sure at this point when DRS opens, there it goes, there's that back wing opening up at the same time, so does Lando Norris. Will the Mercedes have enough? Not this time. Lewis is close, but really if he is going to be producing something special, he needed to make that pass, he needed to make it stick then and there. So no change at the moment I can see from the top 10, and all the cars at the moment are so closely bunched together. I guess from Hamilton's standpoint, he's got to hope that Daniel Ricciardo can pull out a bit of a gap on Lando Norris, and if it's over a second, then Lando Norris will not have DRS. Hamilton will, and that'll be the chance to pass. And you can see that the Renault is just starting, of Ricciardo, just starting to pull away from Lando Norris's McLaren. This is Englishman versus Englishman, at the moment. And Lewis has got a really good run. It will break down once again. It's such quick laps, 2.7 miles, but have to understand at points of it they are absolutely flat out and at top speed. So this is Lewis Hamilton. DRS is open. Struggling to tell whether the McLaren does. He doesn't, but Lewis Hamilton isn't able to make the pass. There they go, flying through the wall of champions. Just a little bit of turf there. It does take a battering during this Grand Prix. And Lewis is making his move. Can he make it stick, Lewis Hamilton? Yes, he can. Great driving by Hamilton, braking late and using that moment to get into 9th place. Wonderful stuff by Hamilton. Just has to steal, brake late, in he goes. Of course, Canada, all those years ago, back in 2007, was where he won his first Grand Prix. And now this is Alex Albon's got an AlphaTauri ahead of him. Got Pierre Gasly in 12th, 13th for Albon, who's up there thanks to the fact that Gonzalez in the Ravenwest is all the way down the back of the grid. I want to see what their strategy that they can hold here. Albon looking to try and make a moment and trying to find a way by Pierre Gasly, the Frenchman. And the AlphaTauri itself is just starting to come good. Of course, once upon a time it was the sister car, it was the Toro Rosso of Red Bull, and it was the Toro Rosso being driven by one Sebastian Vettel that paved the way for them after David Coulthard retired in 2008. And Vettel went on to become full-time world champion for them. It's not really happened for Alex Albon at the moment, and so far in this race it's not necessarily happening for Lewis Hamilton, who is still 9th and having to catch at the moment Daniel Ricciardo. And I'm looking at the time indexes and the sexters, and whatever it is, that Mercedes Hamilton's isn't quite working perhaps as well as we would expect it to. This is a lovely shot, by the way, of the helicopters that are over there. This is our race leader, Charles Leclerc, and he's brought out a gap on Verstappen, but Verstappen has also brought out a gap on Valtteri Bottas in 3rd place. Ferrari, Canada has always been a kind circuit to them over the years. Indeed, the 1995 Canadian Grand Prix was where Jean Alesi won his only GP victory. Charles Leclerc famously last year winning in front of the Tifosi in Italy. Carlos Sainz in the McLaren in 5th. What that would do for the team from Woking if he can hold that position, but he's got a Canadian Lance Stroll behind him with home support, and not since the days of Jacques Villeneuve of the Canadian home fans here got someone to cheer for. Well, Jacques Villeneuve, very much a bit of a one-hit wonder in Formula 1 terms. Challenged Damon Hill in his opening season, wasn't able to win the World Championship. Similarities to Lewis Hamilton, was champion in 97 again, but then that Williams really suffered after Renault pulled out of Formula 1. They never quite had the aero package with the engine power, and after that he moved to BAR. That just didn't work out for him. And Lance Stroll is looking to pick up that moniker, and in 6th place is challenging 5th place at the moment of Carlos Sainz in the 55 car. And Lance Stroll might have the opportunity, and DRS is opened up. But it's a long way back here for Stroll, and I'm not sure he's going to get him out braking, and into the pits comes Sainz. So Stroll does come through. It's an early pit stop there, and they're all going to come filtering in at the moment. That's a Ferrari that's already in a Sebastian Vettel, and that looks to be the Renault there of Daniel Ricciardo. He is also in and ahead of Hamilton, so that's worked out perfectly for Renault, but they were then going to have a rather angry Englishman right behind him. Leclerc still leads, Bottas is 2nd, Stroll is now 3rd. And close and contacted. Ricciardo, this is for race position, has to be said. At the moment, the Ravenwest side just running so tight. And that 4-car battle which is taking place. Gonzalez in 17th, Ricciardo 18th, Hamilton 19th. Perez in 20th. And there goes Ricciardo. Oh, look at that. Did he squeeze him? Has he got through in time? Has Hamilton got through? Oh, it's all close. It's so close. Well, the Ravenwest has got through. The team owners here, Nathan McCain and Rick Scott, have made the journey over to watch this, and they're watching their driver at the moment try to do the absolute impossible. And the race leader comes in on an easy end. Charles Leclerc, good stop by he. Very good stop. I reckon that was just about 2.8, 2.9 seconds. Bottas is in also. So we're looking to see at the moment. They're the only two that hasn't come in. And currently at the moment, this is Verstappen, who's sitting behind. Now is Bottas, who's rejoining the Grand Prix. And he's got an Alfa Romeo ahead of him. Needs to pass him relatively soon, so he's not held up. Not a case of backmarking at the moment. Charles Leclerc leads, Max Verstappen is second, Antonio Giovinazzi there. He's kept his place in the third place. Bottas is fourth. And they're all coming filtering in and out of the pits at the moment. Gonzalez is up to ninth. Ricciardo is 10th, and the way that's worked out then. Oh, look at this. This is quite astonishing. Sainz is past Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton's day at the moment is going from bad to worse. So Gonzalez is in the points, so is Ricciardo. But this is Ricciardo again in that Renault. Better themselves, very much having a bit of a love-hate relationship with Formula One. At times they've been the leading engine supplier. They were a wonderful construction themselves in the early 1980s and all throughout the 2000s. Indeed, two-time world champion and constructors champion. Now here is the opportunity for Ricciardo, who will have the pace, and will he be able to stop an outbreaking Gonzalez? He will do, through the wall of champions and away. And now Sainz is trying to make an audacious move right through the inside, and he's unable to do so because that's really, really good defending by Gonzalez, who's holding off Norris. And Lando Norris at the moment can't pass him, as can't Lewis Hamilton. So, oh, was that a kiss to the wall perhaps by Gonzalez? How's that breaking him through? This is Lando Norris again, trying to find their way through, as does Lewis Hamilton, unable to do so at the moment. So, Norris and Hamilton in 10th. That's a view from him, and he's just about hoping to get the drive, and Lewis does it! Lewis does it! Lewis Hamilton's got through into 9th spot. He's been able to get past Lando Norris, and as a fact also is Sergio Perez, who's done that. Great work there from the Racing Point, but the McLaren comes fighting back, and it's McLaren and Racing Point that are going side by side as we make our way through, and Racing Point is through, and now Lewis Hamilton is hunting down the Ravenwest, driven by Hector Gonzalez this afternoon. Mercedes versus Honda Power. Ferrari leads, Verstappen is second, Bottas is third, so that's Ferrari, that's Red Bull, and that's Mercedes in the top three. Vettel is still fourth, Sainz is fifth, Lance Stroll is still sixth. Daniel Ricciardo has made his way up to seventh, so really good work by Daniel Ricciardo. He's having a very, very good Grand Prix. Here's Lewis Hamilton, who by his incredibly high standards is having a dreadful Grand Prix. But can he find a way past Gonzalez? If he can do so, well, that'll open things up. He's got the power here, but can he outbrake the Spaniard? He can't, and he nearly went into him. And that nearly worked out perfectly for Sergio Perez, who suddenly finds himself again right behind on the gearbox of the Mercedes, but Hamilton's able to hold him off. And now he will pick up now. Has Hamilton got enough time? Did he lose enough time, or is he able to open up DRS and catch the Ravenwest? There's half a chance. All the cars behind him are doing the same. I think Gonzalez will have just enough speed. In fact, he'll come into pits. So that's going to bring Gonzalez back down the grid, and that's going to promote Lewis Hamilton up to 8th. Gonzalez pitting, so they were trying to go long. hoping to pit and bring themselves in. So we'll see where they come out later on in this race. This is Mick Schumacher, numbered 72 car. Let's see what Schumacher got a real promising career ahead of him, but what a task he's got to live up to the surname. There's not been many drivers out there that have been able to live up to the predecessors' surnames in that success. Perhaps the most successful, you could say, was Damon Hill in regards to his race wins and the way he was the first son of a world champion to win. Nico Rosberg, the son of Keke Rosberg, also eclipsed what his father's done. But then you look at some others. Was Jacques Villeneuve as good as Gilles Villeneuve? Was Brenning a brilliant driver? Were they up to the standards? At the moment, though, can anybody catch Charles Leclerc? What a brilliant race he's having. This is third place Valtteri Bottas coming through. Bottas at the moment seems to be having the rub of the green in the Mercedes garage. And that's going to be really good for him in this championship challenge as this season goes on. Here's Alex Albon. Will he be in a Red Bull seat next season? We'll have to wait and see. Speculation over his future potentially. The man himself hasn't had the most impressive performance after being moved from what was then Toro Rosso, now AlphaTauri. And the man he's trying to beat, Pierre Gasly, himself has had a very good performance. This is Perez in 9th, that's Lando Norris in 10th. So Sergio Perez is in the points, as is Norris. But they're not doing any ways to catch Lewis Hamilton, but Lewis Hamilton has got a lot to do in a short period of time to be able to catch up Daniel Ricciardo. Racing Point side is just starting to get more and more competitive as time goes on, and the team there doing some fantastic work to get things moving. And the key moments, this is, and look at that, that's a really good work by Norris. He's been able to get behind Perez. Sergio Perez, of course, cracking talent. Love to be able to see him perhaps in a more competitive car, if that was possible. And now this is back with Alex Albon. And he's got Esteban Ocon behind him also. So this battle for 12th place at the moment as they look to work their way into the points is heating up. And it's now a case of, is Albon able to do the business? Is he able to find a way past? It'll be a real challenge for him to do so. You'd say very much that the AlphaTauri should be the inferior car. A good driver can find you a few tenths more a lap, but a bad car can cost you a lot more time. So maybe it is a reflection perhaps of the quality of the driver as opposed to the quality of the car that's taking place. Kimi Raikkonen ahead of them, Esteban Ocon in the Renault behind. And then they are in the point, so it's all there for Albon, who's making his move. Oh, so close there, Albon, braking out of desperation. It's now got Esteban Ocon right behind, but I think he'll have a better run, and indeed he does. And now here is taking place at the moment between Stroll and Sainz. So this is for 5th place, and Carlos Sainz is just about holding off Sergio Perez in 10th. Where's Perez at the moment? What's he doing? Oh, yellow flags are out. Oh, it's Lewis Hamilton! Hamilton! Oh, it's just not his Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton is out. Blown engine, he had to change it for a gearbox. Goodness me, would you believe that? What rotten luck Lewis Hamilton is having this season. No surprise, that has brought out the safety car. The safety car is out, so this wonderful lead that Charles Leclerc has is going to be tied all the way back. And then the drivers will go and bunch up again, and then we are back getting set for a little sprint to the finish. Lewis Hamilton will be deeply frustrated. We'll wait for Louis Goodman, who we'll hope to have a word with him very shortly. But we're waiting here to see. So, 2 laps to go. Charles Leclerc leads Max Verstappen from Valtteri Bottas. Sebastian Vettel is 4th. Carlos Sainz is 5th. Lance Stroll is 6th. Daniel Ricciardo has made his way up to 7th. Lewis Hamilton has bowed out of the Grand Prix. So what a real great point scoring opportunity this would be for this front three. Max Verstappen, all the talent in the world, as is Charles Leclerc, but I have to say, an absolute delight to see Valtteri Bottas also involved in this racing period, and what he's doing really is quite magnificent. Well, the lights have left the safety car, which means the safety car will be coming in. So now, Charles Leclerc effectively is the safety car. That is, if all the cars are going to bunch up or not. We shall have to wait and see. The yellow flags are still out. So let's watch to see what happens to the safety car. Does it come in, or will it stay out? Lights going in is usually a sign that that's enough. And the safety car has made its way into the pits. So we will come through the Wall of Champions, and we're back under and racing here in Canada. And with 2 laps to go, Leclerc has made a fantastic restart and continues it. Bottas now suddenly finds himself close to Max Verstappen. Sebastian Vettel not really able to pick up what he wanted to. And there go the 2 Ravenwest battling one another, Mick Schumacher and Hector Gonzalez. And breaking into the turn, it's a great move that has been pulled off. And that's fantastic work by Gonzalez to get past Schumacher. Now, Bottas, does he fancy the chance? Does he fancy a pass on Max Verstappen? Verstappen will know. He's about to come under some serious pressure, but a second place, because of the championship, a podium could be crucial to him. Must be hoping that he's able to do this. Remember, after this we will go to France for the next rounds, the 7th round of these Formula 1 World Championships. Charles Leclerc looks to be storming ahead, and on the final lap, Charles Leclerc is eyeing up a victory in this Grand Prix. Verstappen is 2nd, but he's got Bottas right behind him, and it really is a race at the moment from 2nd place, which is the furthest up the grid and the most exciting as things stand. So, Leclerc, these Verstappen, these Bottas, who's getting closer and closer and closer. We'll have to wait and see if this can be held off. But if I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times, and I'll continue to say it. Catching somebody is one thing, overtaking them is another thing entirely. The short, sharp nature of the Canadian circuit, it really does flow. An old-fashioned sort of oval that used to be slowed down by those chicanes. One man that has not been slowed down is Charles Leclerc in that Ferrari, who after Lewis Hamilton's penalty, he started in pole, and he's led the entire way since. Really has put in a magnificent performance in that Ferrari. Even on the restart, he's been able to push out a gap ahead of Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas. And now he's going to come through the Wall of Champions, take the applause, and win the Canadian Grand Prix. Great work by Charles Leclerc. And Verstappen holds on to take 2nd, Bottas is 3rd, Vettel comes 4th, and Sainz beats Stroll, so McLaren beats that. Ricciardo, great performance from him for 7th, and Sergio Perez is 8th. Lando Norris in the other Ferrari is 9th. Great result that is by Raikkonen. It's come through in 10th. We're watching the final battle between Gonzalez and George Russell in the Williams, and the Ravenwest side at least have an overtake on the penultimate corner. It's 18 plane for Hector Gonzalez. A very tough weekend for the Ravenwest side. Was meant to be a fantastic weekend for Charles Leclerc.
Grazie mille, grazie mille, grazie a tutti. Siete dei grandi. Mamma mia, mamma mia. Non ci sono parole.
Oh, indeed, wonderful by Charles Leclerc and everyone involved at Ferrari. And very much a side to look out for this season. Charles Leclerc, race winner. Absolutely, don't you know it? Great drive by him. And all the mechanics will be absolutely thrilled. Their man has brought their car home. And a race win for a Ferrari. Well, the champagne always tastes sweeter when you're standing on top of the podium. It'll taste sweeter still for Charles Leclerc. He will celebrate with Verstappen and Bottas. A wonderful performance by the prancing horse that marches on, and Charles Leclerc has just shown us some of his absolutely brilliant talent, because he is the winner of the Canadian Grand Prix. Well, Charles Leclerc's wonderful win by him, and 25 points to he. Max Verstappen in second place, and Valtteri Bottas through to third. Very much a bit of a procession in regards to it. The race, how it went. Sebastian Vettel started third, lost one place in fourth. Great driver, has to be said, by Lance Stroll, getting through to finish sixth. McLaren finished fifth. Carlos Sainz continues his good run in the season as things go. His teammate Lando Norris is ninth, and well done Kimi Raikkonen in the Alfa Romeo, which is 10th. Gonzalez in Ravenwest Motorsports side eventually finished 19th after starting 5th after that gearbox failure. Mick Schumacher was 21st, and Lewis Hamilton sadly did not finish. In the drivers' standings, Valtteri Bottas retakes the lead of the World Championship, and Max Verstappen is 4 points behind him. It's like Lewis Hamilton's retirement. He's only 14 points behind then. Sebastian Vettel still is Charles Leclerc. There's only a 4-point difference between that. Carlos Sainz in the McLaren moves ahead of Gonzalez, that bumps his web down to 7. And Alex Albon is down in 8th. Daniel Ricciardo moves up to 9th, and he's the last one. And everyone else is in the teens in the point scoring front, from Kimi Raikkonen down to Lando Norris and Esteban Ocon. Well, he's got 7 points. Mercedes, funny enough, have a 28-point lead over Ferrari in the Constructors' World Championship. Ferrari have just 4 points on Red Bull Racing in the battle for second place. McLaren move ahead into 4th ahead of Ravenwest, who hold their positions along with Renault. Racing Point, great Grand Prix for them. They've gone on 7th ahead of Alfa Romeo. AlphaTauri and Haas still scoring points. Williams sadly yet to score a point. Well, folks, that was a fantastic drive, and it just showed you the power of consistency and the golden rule in Formula 1. To finish first you have to finish. We're heading to France next. Let's hope it's magnifique. From all of us, thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.